off the rails. Well, let's just look at what they've been doing. Been yelling at members of Congress in the town halls, hollering at the President of the United States during a joint session of the Congress, fear-mongering about death panels. The list goes on and on. Rooting against the Olympic Games. The righty fringe has made its way into the mainstream of the Republican Party. And I have the perfect guy here to talk about that from the Daily Beast, Max Blumenthal, who has written a book. He is the author of, quote, Republican Gomorrah, Inside the Movement That Shattered the Party. Good to have you with us.
Great to be here.
Why'd you write this?
I wrote this because for 6 years I've been covering the movement that I think took over the Republican Party and drove it to the radical fringe, pushing it outside the mainstream of the American public.
Which was?
Which was mainly the Christian right, along with radical right anti-government groups, the kind of groups we saw in the National Mall on 9/12.
So what has happened to the Republicans? Is this what we're going to get more of the same? I mean, we haven't seen this kind of vernacular used before.
Yeah, we've I think become accustomed to rhetoric like we saw from Louis Gohmert talking about necrophilia on the House floor and the man with the little mustache. And every time we see these histrionics, when we see these displays of resentment, it confirms the narrative of my book about how the Christian right was welcomed by the Republican establishment and soon became the Republican establishment, supplanting the Republican Party with this movement that's filled with people who can't handle individual freedom and the pressures of democracy.
So, Max, where is the GOP right now? And what do you say in your book?
The GOP is the movement, and that's why, although there's this fight over Sarah Palin among Republican consultants, Sarah Palin was the only logical choice as the Republican vice presidential candidate in 2008 because she was the archetype of the right-wing woman and sort of figure who comes from the Christian right, the movement that controls the party. It's why she's the only major national Republican leader right now.
So she's the only major national Republican leader right now?
Who has a viable, I mean, it's going to be her or some mannequin-like figure like Mitt Romney or Tim Pawlenty who are going to have to pander to the base, but who will appear inauthentic. Sarah Palin's appeals are authentic. That's why she's being propelled continually onto the national stage by this movement at the peril of the Republican Party.
But is the Republican Party going to have to address these crazies eventually and say we're not a part of them?
It's really unfortunate, I think, for someone like Steve Schmidt or Mike Murphy who are complaining about the crazies. These consultants may not have a future in this party right now because the crazies are the party.
The crazies are the party.
Where's John McCain to denounce the death panel meme? John McCain, the maverick, the moderate. Where's Mitt Romney, who used to be sort of a moderate Republican? And where are the moderates? They've all been voted out. It's an interesting statistic pointed out by Christy Todd Whitman, who was basically cast out of the Republican Party. John McCain in 2008 received 20% less moderate Republican votes than George W. Bush did in 2004. The moderates have all come to the Democratic Party. The Republican Party is now a Southern party of birthers, deathers, and Civil War reenactors.
Max Blumenthal, way to go. From the Daily Beast, his book is Republican Gomorrah, Inside the Movement That Shattered the Party.